Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing a quick tutorial on how to make your own animation in Fusion 360. Before we do this quick tutorial, I need you to assemble all your components into a file, meaning you create your own CAD file with all the components installed in. For an example, is this file here that I have with me, a robot car. As you can see on the left hand side is all the components that is assembled under the design workspace in Fusion 360. So what I need you to do is to do something similar. Get all the components and assemble them into a single design workspace. All right. So see you in 50 seconds time. Alright guys, so let's get on with this tutorial. So before we start with the animation workspace, I just want to make sure that you have assembled all your CAD file into one file. Sorry, assemble all your components into one file here. So as you can see here, this is the animation that I would like to do. Is based off this robot car. Okay, so under the design workspace, I import all the components into this workspace, and after which all the components I will move all of them, and assemble them into this arranged order. Okay, so from here you just go on to your tab. I'm going to remove this data panel here. Under the tab animation tab, right? Here is where you can start your animation. Okay, so we are going to start a new animation. So you're going to click on storyboard, new storyboard, and the storyboard should be a clean slate. Click on OK. So there are a few ways on how you're going to create your animation. There is a lot of functions that you can use in Fusion 360. So one of the very basic functions is to change views. Okay, change the perspective views. So what you need to do is to, on the timeline here, on the bottom of the UI, you can see there's this timeline. First of all, you select the time, let's say 10 seconds, all in seconds. The playhead, I click on about 10 seconds, and I will actually change the view. So within 10 seconds, from the first perspective, it will transition to the last perspective that you see here on your screen. So let's take a look. So from the first, I'll move the playhead back to 0, and our play, as you can see, is actually transitioning the view from the back to the front. Okay, so you can carry on and do this again and again. Depends on what you like. You can change the duration of the playhead to 18 for between the 10 second to the 18 second. You can change again to another perspective, right, to the back or to the bottom. All right, it depends on you. So this is one of the functions in Fusion 360 to change the perspective as an animation reel. So what else can be done? Okay, so under transform, right, there is many options here: auto explode, manual explode, show height, and appearance. Okay, the first function that I would like you to try and test out is transform components. Okay, so far we have learned how to change the perspective views. So what about the components? So under the browser and under the body that you have assembled, okay, so these are all the components that is assembled in this body. Okay, so all these components are actually movable. You can select one of the components, which is, I'm going to move the breadboard, and again, from the timeline, I'm going to adjust the time, and I will click on the component, and I will click on transform components. So from here, you are able to move the components up or down using a freehand. Okay, if you have a specific value that you like, you can type it on the right hand side, the box, pop-up box here, and click on OK. So what it does is that, let's take a look. So from the original view, it will actually raise the component and go on change the perspective. Okay, so you can do this many times depending on which component that you want it to move from. You can select the component, select the time, select the component, and select the option here, transform components. So based on the playhead, you can select the components, and you can select what you want to do with that component. Okay, so there is another option, restore home. So maybe select the time here and you click on restore home. Everything will select the body and restore home, so it will transition back to the original state. Okay, if you are feeling a bit lazy and you wish to use the auto function, okay, auto explode one level means the body, just the first component here will move, which is the top chassis. Okay, that's one level. All levels is all these components will explode, will disassemble, and it's up to you to adjust how far the components are scattered. All right. So these are the functions on how to create your animation in Fusion 360. So show and hide is to, for instance, if you have a component that's blocking your view, you can hide. For example, if I'm going to expose the motors at the bottom, this lower chassis here, I'm going to click on hide. And you can see it disappears and it's exposed the components beneath. Okay, I am going to show it back again. Oh, sorry, I need to select the component and show. Okay, so these are the functions that you can find in Fusion 360. Okay, all right, I do have a workshop that runs on how to do your 3D design and 2D design for 3D printing and laser cut, and where to get CAD designs online, and how to do your animation in Fusion 360. It covers an in-depth coverage on how to do all that in Fusion 360. Also, you are able to chat with me one-to-one. All right, if you have any questions, I would love to help you, as well as see what are the things that can be done, or what are the problems that we might I have not covered so far. All right, please do take a look at the links down below. All right, click on that link for that workshop, and also the link for my other workshops that I do have. All right, it's all in SkillShare. I hope to see you there. All right, and see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, lastly, once you have transformed and do the necessary editing on your animation reel, right, on the timeline, you are satisfied. So how you are going to export your animation into a movie file is just clicking on publish, and you click on publish video, save file into your folder that you like. So based on your computer, if you are on a Mac, you'll get a MP4 format. I'm using a PC, so I have a AVI format. All right, so other than that, I wish you all the best in your work.